Hello, welcome to our program. This is English Digest, and I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
And today we're going to travel,
Yay.
although today technically it's our festival unit in which we talk about, well, festivals that go on in different parts of the world. We certainly could talk about Mid-Autumn Festival here in Taiwan or Lunar New Year Festival or whatever. But we're actually leaving Taiwan and going to Iceland, which is an island in the North Atlantic, and they have something there called Retir, a gathering of sheep.
Yeah, now the people in Iceland have lots of very strange-looking words to me. We have taught units on Iceland before, and I've had to look up the pronunciation. And I'm not really sure how this one is pronounced, to be honest. I tried to look online. We're going to go with Retir for today. But if you are heading there, you should know that they probably have a really strange way of pronouncing it. So just be aware. It's kind of a popular place to go right now for vacation. It's very cold there, so you might want to head on out to Iceland during the hot summer months here in Taiwan to cool down. I'd love to go. I've had friends who have gone. Have you been there yourself, Tom?
No, my brother goes there quite a bit. I'm not exactly sure why, but I think it's kind of the hip location to go to nowadays. Everybody's been to France. Everybody's been to Italy. Boring. You need to go to someplace exotic and new that you could tell your friends about. So yes, they're going to Iceland here, and of course, if you're in Iceland, it's always nice to be there during a festival for extra pictures and an extra experience, again, that you can tell your mother all about. So let's get to it. Let's talk about Retir, a gathering of Iceland sheep. Let's read through the entire contents of our lesson now one time.
In Icelandic culture, sheep are held in high regard. They were brought to Iceland by Vikings during the 9th century and have served as one of the island's primary food sources ever since. To this day, their long, rough wool is used to produce durable sweaters that keep people warm in frigid temperatures. In exchange for the animals' contributions to Icelandic society, farmers decided to give their woolly friends a few months of well-deserved independence throughout the year. In spring and summer, the sheep are allowed to roam the countryside. A tag is attached to their ears to indicate which farm they belong to. Once they're freed, the sheep wander the mountains, soak up the sun, and fatten themselves on grass. In fall, Retir begins. This is the annual tradition of fetching the sheep and bringing them home. With the help of sheepdogs, farmers set off on horseback to gather the sheep. They're driven into rets, which are large sorting rings. This makes it easy for farmers to identify their sheep before taking them home. Rounding them up is not that simple, though. There are many clever sheep looking for a way to remain free. They run, hide, and even jump over fences to avoid capture. The entire process of gathering them usually takes several days, and there are certain rules to follow. Farmers cannot grab the sheep by their horns or wool, because this might injure them. Retir is also a celebration filled with games and music. Local delicacies like lamb sausage and hearty meat soups are frequently served. Tourists are always welcome. They can visit the rets, walk alongside herds, and take part in the festivities. If you're ever in Iceland, don't be shy. Join the fun.
Okay, let's begin our discussion about the contents of today's lesson. We're talking again about Retir, or however they pronounce it in Icelandic there. It's a gathering of Iceland's sheep, and of course a gathering is when you bring things together, so I guess sheep would probably try to run all over the place if you let them. They would run loose, they would run wild, so you need to kind of bring them together using sheepdogs, I suppose, to gather them into flocks. So yes, you can gather those sheep together, and I guess there's some kind of festival in Iceland that commemorates this activity.
Right. They have festivals like most other countries around the world, a chance to have a little party and celebrate tradition. It's always fun. So they have their own culture, of course, in Iceland. And in Icelandic culture, sheep are held in high regard. If you hold something in high regard, that's the phrase, just means you respect them. They've done something respectable, something that you can look up to. They hold sheep in high regard. Why? Well, they, referring to the sheep, were brought to Iceland by Vikings during the 9th century.
Right.
Now, you've probably seen pictures of Vikings. They're really large men who look very scary to me. They have helmets on. They have like horns on the side. They're quite tall. The people in Scandinavia are taller than people, say, in the Americas or even in Europe. But the Vikings were pirates who would sail the seas and they'd travel to other lands and they raid the people that lived there. Raiding means they'd steal things from them, take them back, and then use them in their own countries. So they were a little intimidating, a little scary, but they're part of the culture, at least in Scandinavia.
Right, so of course they sailed the ocean blue back in the day, and of course they were from Scandinavia, and they went to Iceland, and they thought, hey, we need to have some sheep here. The place is kind of lonely without sheep, so they brought some with them. So that's why Iceland has sheep. So indeed, the Icelandic people hold them in high regard. Sheep are highly respected. And they have served as one of the island's primary food sources ever since. So, of course, if you have sheep, guess what? You can kill them. You can chop them up into little pieces and then eat them. You can have meat made from sheep. I think that's called mutton, right? If it's made from sheep or goat. Or goats, it's called mutton, M-U-T-T-O-N, mutton, as you'll hear it pronounced. And primary just means their main food there. I guess because it's so cold and so barren, they have to eat a lot of meat, just like they do in Tibet. They're primarily meat eaters there.
They sure are. It's pretty cold there, and I think meat probably keeps them a lot warmer. Remember, back in those days, hey, there were no refrigerators either. So they had to find ways to preserve food, and they learned how to preserve meat and fish, of course, back then. Primary, I often think of primary as primary school, like elementary school. You'll hear some people refer to Xiaoxue as primary school. I tend to say elementary school, but primary here does mean your chief thing or something of most importance. So it was the food source that was most important in that particular culture at that time. We could say, the primary source of energy here in Taiwan is probably oil and gas or maybe nuclear power. Who knows? I'm not really sure. But yeah, everyone has their primary food sources or their primary means of income. My primary means of income would be recording. That's true for Tom as well. So primary here just means most important.
Yes, indeed. The primary food here in Taiwan, of course, is rice, I would imagine. So, again, the primary food source of Iceland is mutton, or the meat from sheep. And to this day, their long, rough wool is used to produce durable sweaters that keep people warm in frigid temperatures. There you go. So, sheep offer two things. You can get wool from them, and you can get meat. Maybe you can get milk, too. I'm not quite sure. But in any case here, they've got this wool. That's the fur or the hair of a sheep. We call that wool. Do you call goat's hair? Is that also called wool too?
That I don't know, but I was just thinking about the milk question you asked. I've never heard of sheep milk, but goat's milk is very popular. And of course, if you're a foodie out there, you know that feta cheese is made from goat's milk. It's kind of a fun-tasting cheese. So, yeah, I don't know if you can make anything out of goat's wool. My sister has some goats. I'll ask her the next time I talk to her. But I've only heard of sheep. They have extremely thick, beautiful wool, which you can then shave. Usually it's shaved after the cold winter months, because that wool keeps them warm. That's why they grow it. And if you have something durable, guys, it lasts a very long time. If you're into reading economic reports, from different countries, you'll see a statistic that says durable goods. A durable good is something that really doesn't have to be replaced very often, like a refrigerator or a car. Those are durable goods. But durable here just means something that lasts a long time. There are some clothes you buy at stores, and the first time you wash it in the washing machine, it falls apart. That would not be something that's very durable.
That's why you want to buy jeans made out of denim because they're very durable. Some people use denim or jeans to work in because they are durable. So these are durable sweaters. They can last a long time. There's a good souvenir there if you go to Iceland. Pick up some good sweaters there to give to your friends. They can keep you warm in frigid temperatures or cold temperatures. And in exchange for the animals' contributions to Icelandic society, farmers decided to give their woolly friends a few months of well-deserved independence throughout the year. So, yes, they're recognizing the contribution that sheep have made to Iceland's society. So, in exchange for, this is kind of a trade here, because you did this for me, I can do that for you. In exchange for, you might say that if you're going to trade something, well, you can have my car in exchange for your butterfly collection.
Or you can have my car in exchange for $3,000 US. So it doesn't
That's probably worth more than a butterfly collection,
Yeah, you don't have to exchange, one product for another product. It could be product for money. Actually, when we go to a store, that's a sort of exchange, right? You pick something up that you like, maybe a cute pair of pants or a shirt in exchange for your money. That store will let you take that home with you. So in exchange for the animals and what they do to contribute to Icelandic society, they get a few months of well-deserved independence throughout the year. When you see this adjective woolly, you'll often see it combined with woolly friends. It could be maybe sheep, it could be goats, it could be a bear, it could be a stuffed animal. But we use these two words together because they're kind of cute.
They are, and of course, when I see the word woolly, I think of the woolly mammoth, an animal that is extinct. I think I saw a woolly mammoth exhibition at the CKS Hall a couple of years ago, but I think that's 长毛象 in Chinese, woolly mammoth. So yes, if you describe something as woolly, that means it's got a lot of wool, like a sheep. It's a woolly animal. So, of course, they're recognizing their contribution to Icelandic society by having some sort of celebration in which they let those sheep run loose for a couple of months out of the year. Okay, that brings us to the midway point in today's lesson. Let's take a break now and listen to our Chinese teacher.
Hello everyone, my name is Tina. 我们今天要介绍的主题呢是冰岛的圈羊节。首先来看到第一个空格的句子写着 To this day, their long rough wool is used to produce durable sweaters that keep people warm in frigid blank one. 这里谈到了羊毛的重要性，它们长而粗糙的羊毛被用来生产耐用的毛衣，为的就是让人们在寒冷的什么之下保持温暖，当然就是在寒冷的温度之下能够保暖。搭配句意，第一题的标准答案就选择 B, temperatures。第二个空格的句子写着 In exchange for the animals blank 2 to Icelandic society, farmers decided to give their woolly friends a few months of well-deserved independence throughout the year. 所以农夫们呢，为了要感谢这些动物对冰岛社会的什么作为交换，他会在一年当中为这些毛茸茸的朋友提供几个月他们应该要获得自由的时间。在这里我们注意到的是空格后面的 to， 这些动物对冰岛的社会有着很多的贡献，搭配上下文意。第二题我们可以选择 C 选项 contributions。We're
going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're talking about a festival called Retir that takes place in Iceland. And it's when they let their sheep that they really hold in high regard have a couple of seasons free to roam around and do what they want. They're not kept in cages or rounded up. They can actually just go out there and find beautiful grass to munch on and enjoy themselves. And then when fall comes around, they actually have this festival and they round the sheep up. We're going to be talking about what they do here. So in the second paragraph, that's kind of where we left off when we took a break. It says, in spring and summer, the sheep are allowed to roam the countryside. This word roam, to roam, is a verb, and it's very similar to wander. Just means you don't have a specific direction or place that you're trying to get to. You're taking your time and you're looking around and life is good. You're not in a hurry. And the sheep are allowed to just roam the countryside and go where they want to with their friends.
Roam is also a word you hear when you talk about cell phones. If you're traveling to another country, I guess they roam for a signal or something. Is that how that works?
Yeah.
I don't really travel that much, so I'm not quite sure. But in any case, yes, roaming around, the sheep can roam around. They can hang out wherever they want to. They can roam the countryside. It's well-deserved rest for them.
Yeah, if you go out of the country, guys, be aware that roaming charge is very expensive because what it does is your phone hooks up with a foreign company, say if you're in America, AT&T. And AT&T charges you about 3 times the price they would if you were living in America. So be careful with the roaming charges. Sometimes you can actually get a different SIM card in that country and save yourself some money. Yes, you have to change your phone number for a while, but it's a lot cheaper. Okay, moving on from roam, what they do is they actually attach a tag to the sheep's ears to let people know who they belong to. Most of the cattle that you see, like the cows and the bulls that people raise, they are branded with a hot iron, so it makes a mark in their skin. The sheep don't have that. They actually put a little tag on their ear, probably with like some sort of staple gun or something. It doesn't hurt too badly. A tag is something that we'll often find on clothes when we go shopping. If you want to know how much it costs, you look at the price tag. Well, the tag there is attached or fixed to their ears so that it doesn't fall off. You can attach something to an email you're sending to a boss or a friend, which just means something goes along with that email they can open up separately.
That's right. So these tags are attached to their ears with information pertaining to who they belong to, maybe a barcode or something like that. And once they're freed, the sheep wander the mountains, soak up the sun, and fatten themselves on grass. So that's what they do. They're freed. They're set free, you could also say.
Yeah.
So they wander. They roam around. They wander in the mountains, and they get a suntan. They soak up the sun. Here, soak up is a verb phrase. That means you absorb something into your body.
Take it in.
Yes, you can soak up the sun, or a sponge can soak up water if you spill it on your sink or something like that. And they also fatten themselves on grass. They eat a lot of grass and get stuffed on the grass, and they get nice and fat.
Now in the fall, retir begins, and this is the annual tradition of fetching the sheep and bringing them home. If you fetch or tell someone to fetch something for you, it just means, hey, go get that thing for me and bring it back. We often use the word fetch when we're talking to our dogs and we're playing in the park. We throw a stick or a ball out there. They love to play. They run and get it and they bring it back. And that's called fetch, plain fetch. Here, they're going to gather the sheep in and bring them home. They get the help of sheepdogs. There are special dogs that are really good at getting those sheep to assemble or gather up. They round the sheep up. We also use that verb phrase to round up. Now, the farmers set off on horseback to gather the sheep. When you set off to do something, it can mean different things. Here, it means you're beginning something. So you can also set off on a journey, set off on a trip, or you can set off some fireworks, which just means you ignite them and get them to go. Boom!
Yep. Hey, when did you leave this morning? Well, we set off at 6 a.m. We wanted to make time. We wanted to get to our destination.
Make good time.
And set off fireworks, as you said. Lots of kids like to do that during Guonan. And then the sheep are driven into rets, which are large sorting rings. So rets, R-E-T-T there, That's the name of that guy in Gone with the Wind, I guess, Rhett Butler.
Yes.
But, of course, these two words don't have anything to do with each other.
No.
This is an Icelandic word here, Rett, R-E-T-T. I hope I said that right. We're using English pronunciation here. But again, that's a large ring where the sheep are sorted.
Yeah, like if you belong to Farmer Brown, you'll be in this circle. If you belong to Farmer John, you're in this circle. Those are called retts. They've named them that. This makes it easy for the farmers to then identify their sheep before they take them home. So rounding them up is not that simple, though. Sheep are kind of squirrely. They try to outsmart the farmers. They don't want to go anywhere that you want them to go. So there are some clever sheep looking for a way to remain free. Wouldn't you want to be free? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, sheep don't like to be penned up in little yards or whatever. So, of course, they are organized and sorted into those retts, and farmers can identify them. Rounding them up is not that simple, though. There are many clever sheep looking for a way to remain free. I'm not sure if we mentioned this, but sheep is singular and plural. Do not add an S to this.
No.
One sheep, two sheep. So,
same with deer. Yeah.
Yep, deer or moose, same deal. And yes, you gather the sheep together, but hey, those sheep are clever and they're seeking a way to escape. They want to stay free. Who wants to be a prisoner?
They run and hide and even jump over fences to avoid capture. And this entire process of gathering them usually takes several days, and there are certain rules to follow. First of all, you can't grab the sheep by their horns or the wool on their bodies because this might hurt them or injure them. And, of course, we hold the sheep in high regard, remember. In the final paragraph, it says Retir is also a celebration filled with games and music. What's a festival without games and music and food? Local delicacies like lamb sausage and hearty meat soups are frequently served. A delicacy is something that's regarded as quite special, a very special type of food that people get to eat. Sometimes it's expensive. So their delicacies are lamb sausage. And if something's described as being hearty, especially a food is hearty, it's very filling. It makes you feel warm. And, you know, it's not like eating sushi that doesn't feel like you've eaten very much when you're finished. This soup actually fills you up and makes you warm.
Yep, and so these are hearty meat soups. You're going to enjoy them, and they're frequently served. Tourists are always welcome.
Cool.
They can visit the retts, walk alongside herds, and take part in the festivities. A herd is a group of sheep. It can be also used to describe cattle, a herd of cattle, for example, or a herd of deer, I suppose, and also a herd of whales.
Or a herd of people, though it's kind of funny. Yeah, there was a herd of shoppers that ran into the department store. So, yeah, it's a group of things that are hanging out together. And they can also take part in the festivities, of course. Tourists are always welcome to festivities that go on in other countries. If you're ever in Iceland, don't be shy. Join the fun. Good advice if you get a chance to go. Sounds like a pretty exciting country. Right now, we're going to listen one more time to our Chinese teacher.
接着我们来看到第三个空格，这里的句子写着，在春天和夏天的时候 ，the sheep are allowed to blank through the countryside。这个时候呢，羊被允许在乡间里面怎么样呢？后面提到它们耳朵上还会有标签，所以在这里的时候，羊是可以被允许在这样子的乡间里面漫步漫游。在 to 的后面搭配原形动词，我们选择 H 选项的 roam 就有漫步漫游的意思。A tag is attached to their ears to blank for which farm they belong to. 耳朵上面的标签是用来怎么样？它们是属于哪个农场的？在这里的 to 后面也可以放一个动词，选择 A 选项的 indicate。这样子的标签就用来指明标示它们是属于哪一个农场。所以第四题的标准答案就选择 A 选项。第五个空格，我们来介绍这个圈羊节。This is the blank 5 tradition of fetching the sheep and bringing them home. 在这样子的节庆呢，是会怎么样把羊接回来，并将它们带回家的一种传统。在 tradition 的前面，我们要放一个形容词，它是每年1年1度都会举行的一个传统。搭配文意，第5题我们选择 annual， 也就是 D 的选项。第6个空格 There are many blank 6 sheep looking for a way to remain free。 其实呢，当你把羊放出去的时候，会有很多怎么样的羊，它会找方法来维持它自己的自由。这些羊我们形容一下，非常的聪明，想要保持自由。第6题我们可以选择 J 选项 clever， 也就是有聪明的意思。他们怎么做呢？ They run，hide and even jump over fences to avoid blank 7。 他们会一直跑，或者是躲起来，甚至呢会跳过篱笆来避免再被抓回去。所以第7题我们可以选择 E 选项 capture， 在这里当作名词，是捕获的意思。第8个空格 Farmers cannot grab the sheep by their horns or wool because this might blank 8 them。 农夫们呢，要把羊抓回来的时候，可是不可以抓着羊角或者是羊毛来抓住它们，因为这样一来是有可能会使它们怎么样。在助动词后面，我们要放一个原形动词，可以选择 G 选项 injure， 也就是使受伤的意思。第9个空格 Retier is also a and blank 9 filled with games and music。这样子的圈羊节也是一个充满着游戏跟音乐的什么？我们可以看得出来，它是一个庆典节庆，所以搭配句意。第9题可以选择 F 选项的 celebration。第10个空格 blank 10 are always welcome。 怎么样子的人是常常受欢迎的呢？后面提到呢，他们可以呢来参观这样子的羊圈，然后在牧群旁边散步，并且参加庆祝活动。这里的 visit 也许可以给大家一点概念，原来啊就是观光客以及游客随时都欢迎来参加这样的庆典。所以第10个空格就可以选择 I 选项的 tourists。 OK， 以上就是今天的课文讲解，谢谢收听。
That's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and please join us again next time for another edition of our program. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
And I'm Stephanie.
Bye.
See ya.